Hi, now we have successfully installed Apache Tomcat and we have got the index page of Apache Tomcat. By default, Apache Tomcat will have a manager and a host manager application deployed to manage the applications and host. I can get the status about the server or manage the applications using these two options where it is going to access the manager application. But by default, the application is protected with authentication. We need to set the users and roles. Of course, we are going to see in detail about application management and user management. To get started with, I'm going to demonstrate how to quickly configure the users as well as the roles so that I can access the manager UI as well as the host manager UI. To access the host manager UI, I need to have the user to be a part of admin-GUI role. I will be configuring the tomcat-users.xml under the conf folder. I'll be adding a user within the tomcat-users.xml with a username, password, and what are all the roles the user belongs to. A user can belong to n number of roles. To access the host manager, the user should be part of admin-GUI. And to access the manager, the user should be part of manager-GUI. And as a part of the application management, we will see how to manage the applications using the command prompt as well as through the GUI. Now, I'm going to quickly demonstrate how to add a user and make the user as a part of the role manager-GUI and admin-GUI. I have logged into the instance where I have installed Tomcat. Let me make myself as root. Let me get into the location where I have installed the Tomcat. Within this, I do have the conf folder. Within conf folder, I do have the file tomcat-users.xml. Let me edit the file tomcat-users.xml, and within this particular file I should be having a user tag. So I'm going to add a user tag with the username, password, and making the user as a part of manager GUI and admin GUI. So these 5 lines are commented out. So within the tomcat-users tag, I'm adding a user called Kumar with the password Kumar123 and the role manager-GUI, admin-GUI. Now I need to restart the Tomcat service. Let me go ahead and restart the Tomcat service with the command systemctl restart Tomcat. Let me check the status of the Tomcat service. Systemctl status Tomcat. The service is up and running. Let me get into the web UI. Let me access the index page. And let me get into the server status. Still it is not accessible. This is because of this specific error that is mentioned. That is, now I'm not able to access because we are not accessing the application using localhost. Within the permissions file, that is within the application, it is configured not to provide access other than localhost for the manager and host manager application. Of course, this we will be discussing it in detail during the application management. Now, to access the application, I am going to quickly show where this particular configuration is done. So within the Tomcat installation, I do have a folder called Web Apps, where I do have the list of applications deployed. So I do have the host manager application, which provides the functionality of host management, and manager application, which provides the management of applications. Let me get into the manager, and within meta-inf, there is a file called context.xml. Here, there is a configuration not to access the application other than localhost. That is, by default, it will allow the access to this specific application, that is manager and host manager, only from the localhost. So I am going to comment this out. Within XML, commenting is less than, exclamation mark, dash dash, and the closing of the comment is dash dash, greater than symbol. The same way, I will configure the host manager application as well. Within context.xml, I will be commenting out the configuration of the anti-resource locking. So we have made the changes to these two applications. Let me reiterate, we will be discussing more in details about these configurations as a part of application management. I am doing this quickly so that we can have access to the manager UI and do the configurations. so that we can have access to the applications and do any demonstration. If we want, we can go ahead and do that. Now let me restart the Tomcat server. So once the service gets restarted, I can access the index page. Now let me access the server status. Now it is going to prompt for the username and password. Let me provide the username and password that I have configured as a part of the user's XML. I will be in a position to see the server status. Now I can get into the manager application to list the applications as well. These are all the list of applications already deployed. That is manager, host manager, examples, docs. The same way I can access the host manager as well. So I'm accessing the host manager. Let me provide the username password. Here I can do the host management. So in a quick summary, we have seen how to configure the user's XML, how to add a user and add the user as a part of manager GUI and admin GUI role so that I can access the manager application and host manager application. Now we have the installation ready. The server is up and running, as well as we do have access to the manager application and host manager application. Now we can go ahead and deploy any application we want within this installation.